Welcome to the 5th episode of the Warrior's Path podcast. This episode, we're going to talk about discipline and how it's more important than motivation. So one of the biggest lies that weak men will tell themselves is, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't know how many times I've come up against that in my career as a martial artist, as a PT, and as a coach, where I give ideas or challenges to people and they tell me, yeah, definitely I'm going to do that. I'm going to start that tomorrow. And it never happens. Like I've actually had times where like a group of us, maybe like 10, decide, right, every day we're going to do, say for example, forms. Every day we're going to do 5 forms every day. That's it. It's only going to take about 10, 15 minutes of your day. And we're going to do this for the next 100 days. And if I'm lucky, by day 20, there's usually just me left. A lot of the time people will drop out because they're motivated in that moment. They're excited and they think, right, I'm going to get up every morning, do my forms, and I'm going to just work really hard on getting better at them and building a stronger body through them. And then the motivation just wears off. Whereas I always approached it from a discipline perspective. I know my end goal is to have a long, healthy life and as optimal a health as I can get. So it doesn't matter if I'm tired or if I just don't want to do it. I just know it's 15 minutes, just get it done. Like I've said before, I meditate every single day, not because I always want to meditate, but in the moment it doesn't matter because the goal has been set and the discipline then helps me to create that. So one of the things that I've got down here is that motivation is a myth. Most people wait for motivation or they're externally motivated. I'm going to get in shape because of summer's coming up, or I'm going to get in shape because of a wedding to go to. You're creating discipline in that moment, but your goal just isn't far enough ahead. So the motivation, it's never going to last. It's something that you invent, like you come up with a crazy reason or excuse to actually do the thing, knowing in your mind that by the end, like say the wedding, by the day of the wedding, that's it. This is over now. I don't need to train anymore. I don't need to work out anymore. I was actually looking through my phone the other day at one of the apps that I use for my nighttime meditation, which is just a 5-minute silent meditation. I set a timer. I can go right through that. It only runs up until around about the middle of 2020, but every single day you'll see a 5-minute meditation locked in. Even though since 2020 there's a lot of different things have happened in my life, the discipline is still there to do it. So whenever you look for motivation, you're setting yourself up for failure. Motivation is never going to last, whereas discipline is like a muscle. If you work on, like, set a wee goal, like every single day I'm just going to get up and do 5 push-ups, even if they're kneeling push-ups or wall push-ups. I'm just going to do 5 every day for 5 days. That is training the muscle of discipline. Then after those 5 days, you can create new goals and new ideas and then move forward that way. So train your discipline like a muscle. When you do that, you stop negotiating with yourself. Like the amount of times that I've trained with people and they'll say, like, oh, I've got this plan, and then I will say to them halfway through, I thought you were going to do 5 sets of this and 4 sets of this and push-ups and pull-ups and everything. And they'll go, oh no, I changed my mind halfway. Like, you become mentally weak whenever you constantly allow yourself to take the easy path. So if I plan my workout, I write my workout, that is the workout I'm going to do unless I get injured during it. But that's the workout that I'm going to do no matter how long it takes and how tired I feel. The discipline is there to do it over the motivation. So motivation will allow you to negotiate with yourself. And I've wrote a wee question here, or a call out, whatever you want to call it. Are you the kind of man who does what he says, or are you the kind who makes excuses? This is a question to ask yourself, and sit by yourself and do it. Don't ask anybody else, just do it. Ask yourself and be truthful and honest. Do you actually do what you say you're going to do, or do you put things off till tomorrow, the next day, the week after, and then decide, actually, I didn't even really want to do that in the first place anyway? So one of the ways to overcome that is the no option rule. So this helps you eliminate your excuses. So when I was training in Shaolin Kung Fu, we just trained all the time, whether you were sore, you were tired, it was raining, it was snowing, it didn't matter. You were just disciplined to do it. It was just something that you did every day. And when I lived in London, we trained like 11 hours a day. Not just training, but we would train in the morning, then you would teach all evening. So overall, it was about 11 hours of actually doing something. So I'm not saying you have to do that and you have to get locked in and try to create a Shaolin monk style lifestyle. I'm just saying that if you're willing to work on your discipline, then just use the elimination, the 5-second elimination hesitation. That's not easy to say. Elimination hesitation technique, where if you are hesitating, you just do a count to 5. So count down or count up, whichever one works for you. Some other people talk about this as the rocket ship technique, whatever, but it doesn't matter. It works, whatever you call it. So you count to 5, then you just do whatever it is that you had, what you're hesitating on doing, what you're questioning yourself on doing. So just move forward. This will break the habit of hesitating and questioning yourself and reshuffling your plan to make things easier for yourself. And then to help, you want to come up with like a goal that you do every day. It doesn't have to be a big goal. It can be a small goal. So like the 5-minute meditation that I'm talking about, just a silent meditation. You set an alarm, you sit comfortably. I sit cross-legged, you don't have to. You sit comfortably and you just close your eyes for 5 minutes. Thoughts pop into your head, you just thank them and let them move on. The goal isn't to become the greatest meditator in the world. The goal is just to start taking silent time for yourself. And then after the meditation, you can think about what thoughts popped up. What was it that repeated itself? Is there anything that you need to work on? Is there anything that's like playing on your mind that you need to deal with? This will help you overcome the hesitation as well. Usually the thoughts that keep creeping in are because there's things that you should have done. So action will eradicate overthinking. Every time you overthink, you just do something, you just take action, and that will kill that overthinking. So do the 5, like pick up something as simple. It doesn't need to be a big goal. That's the problem that people tend to set themselves, right, this is it, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do 50 push-ups a day, and they've never done 10 in a row in their life. So pick something small and easy. It could be 2 push-ups a day. Then when you get better at that, do 4 push-ups and so on. But pick a small daily goal that's going to help you to reinforce your discipline and help you forget about motivation, because motivation isn't going to last at all. So I wrote here, if you only act when you feel like it, you're ruled by your emotions. So discipline makes you a man who rules himself. If I only do what I want to do in the moment of wanting to do it, most of our subconscious drives are like survival, safety, and part of safety is eating sugary foods, as an example. So a lot of the things that we are subconsciously driven to do will help us get further and further away from the goals that we want to achieve that are healthy for us. So like, ask yourself that. Are you someone who acts when you feel like it, or are you someone that's disciplined? Which means you are in charge of how your life runs and what you actually achieve throughout your life. And the last thing I wanted to do was give you a little bit of a challenge. So it's the do it no matter what challenge. So pick one habit. So the push-ups, the meditating, a cold shower, something that, not something that you already do. Like, don't be like, I'm going to get up every morning and drink a cup of coffee. Whoa. Pick something that is out of your comfort zone, that makes you slightly uncomfortable to think about, but you know is something that you can achieve. And then just commit to doing it for 7 days with no excuses, no exceptions. So if you can commit to doing it for 7 days, you can post underneath this podcast or just reach out to me and say, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to just check in for the next 7 days to say, this is what I'm doing. So I have clients do this all the time. Like at the minute, I have a couple that are doing 2 minutes of fake skipping, basically just jumping up and down for 2 minutes every day, that except Sunday. We're taking Sunday off, but so Monday to Saturday, that's the goal. It's not a massive task. It takes 2 minutes of the day. So I'm trying to get them to reinforce the discipline by just doing these little things. So if you do that, just commit to 7 days, and then at the end of the 7 days, look at yourself and ask what you achieved. Did you actually do it? Did you do it because you love doing it? Did you do it whenever you didn't like doing it? Do you think that you were creating discipline or motivation? And then you can use that moving forward in every other challenge, every other goal that you want to set yourself. So the final takeaway that I wrote here is discipline isn't about feeling like it, like you want to do it. It's about being the kind of man who follows through no matter what. So every time you do what you said you would, you prove to yourself that you are the man that you want to be, that you are in control. And every time you make an excuse, you're proving the opposite. You're proving that you don't have control and life is just happening to you rather than you are creating your own life, creating your own destiny. So the question isn't, can you stay disciplined? The question is, do you want to become a disciplined person? So thanks again for tuning in. Feel free to tag me in whatever you're doing, whatever you decide to do, and I'll speak to you on the next episode.